Welcome to the new season of What's Eating Harlem. I'm Selena Hill. Harlem is one of the most hippest, hottest, and down-to-earth communities in the world, as well as being one of the most historic. We're going to carry you on a ride to all of the great food, art, entertainment, and history that Harlem has to offer. So let's get started. He's from Senegal, West Africa. Now he owns the Renaissance Restaurant, a fine dining restaurant in Harlem where he creates a dish off the menu. Beer, booze, bites, and beats. A new venue in Harlem promises to please.
I built this room with my hands.
This whole room?
The entire room, every piece of electric, every piece of everything.
He's music producer turned real estate developer. Albert Elkerson is creating something special on the Bronx waterfront. All of that and more on What's Eating Harlem.
This program is supported by Whole Foods Market. At Whole Foods Market, our purpose is to nourish people and the planet. We're a purpose-driven company that aims to set the standards of excellence for food retailers. Quality is a state of mind at Whole Foods Market.
I live in Harlem and I see the need for new restaurant and next like upscale fine dining. So and I always dream to have that. So I say, you know what, it's the right time to get it in Harlem. My name is Sisa Alhaji. I'm the chef owner of Renaissance Harlem. I wanted to change a little bit of concept. Yes, my background is French African, but I just wanted to do new American, and I said we need it in Harlem because we have too many bistros, too many restaurants, but not like a fine dining, upscale. What's my background is. I'm from Senegal, West Africa. We just come and work and dream about on our own restaurant, and finally we did it. I mean, that's the only thing we do. We've been working in a restaurant for the last 20 years, I think, since 1995. We're gonna do pan-seared striped bass with red cabbage, roasted potato, and olive mushroom sauce. And this is on the menu too. So first we're gonna season it. We stuff it with a little bit of shallot, parsley. All right, little salt, little pepper, a little bit of African. So we're gonna do what we call pan-seared first. Go. So the pan is hot, a little bit of oil. Okay, right. Okay. Because I want the skin to be crispy. Okay. All right, crispy skin. And now we're gonna start also the vegetable. Oil, a little bit of shallot, a little bit of garlic. Yeah. Add a little bit of butter. Okay, we braise it a little bit with the butter. Okay, all right, we'll finish it in the oven a little bit. Boom. Okay. Gonna get a little bit more butter. We saute the red cabbage and my beautiful potato. A little bit of white wine. Always you season it. All right. In the meantime, we're gonna get the sauce ready. It's the balsamic, olive, something. A little bit more wine. Everything takes some love. All right. All right, my friend, that's beautiful. That's the way you want it. And now, meantime, we're gonna start plating the fish. That's your beautiful bag. All right. Voila, that's your bass. Okay. That's your pan seared fried bass.
What's Eating Harlem wants to get you involved. Become a member and get the 411 on all that goes on in Harlem. Go to www.whatseatingharlem.com and don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Hi, I'm Selena Hill, and today I'm here at Harlem Hops, where you'll find the best craft beer, booze, bites, and beats. I'll also speak to the founders of Harlem Hops, which happens to be the first beer bar in Harlem entirely owned by African Americans. Let's check it out.
Harlem Hops is located here in Central Harlem, Adam Clayton Powell Boulevard, 133rd, 134th.
When and how did you come up with this concept to open up a beer bar here in Harlem?
In Harlem, it was kind of like not a black representation of ownership of the bars and the breweries in the area. the place I was going to, I wanted to see myself behind the ownership. Didn't see that. I wanted to do this in my home. I have a home with a downstairs garden apartment, but couldn't do it in my home. My zoning in my building is residential only. Had to be commercial, so that's when a mutual friend introduced me to Kim. I found out she wanted to do the same thing as me, which is open a craft beer spot in Harlem, and the rest is history. Just so happy that a lot of the HBCU graduates, the neighbors in the neighborhood have been coming out to support. They love craft beer, and I believe they like the convenience of just walking out their house a block down and getting great beer.
The difference between craft beer and the traditional beers that maybe mainly Harlem residents or just any other people are traditionally used to?
A little more care is going into the craft brewery, natural ingredients. Certain beers, I won't give names now, but can sit on shelves for up to a year, whereas craft beer, now you have to drink within a 3-month time span. I guess it's equated to eating fresh food. You know, if you let a tomato sit out for longer than a week, it starts to deteriorate. But foods that's processed, you can keep on shelf for long time period. So craft beer is a little fresher, a little better ingredients. Small batch beers that are brewed, so it's not mass produced to ship state countrywide. You have to get it right in the local area, and it's not only in New York, and also different cities. I'm from Detroit, Michigan, and a lot of cities have their own little pockets of craft beer that also are brewing a lot of heat, a lot of great beer. We wanted to represent people of color in the brew industry, and we carry two beers that has a dedicated tap. And they're a black-owned brewery. One is Harlem Blue, and the other one is Harlem Brewing. We have them year-round, or we will have them year-round. And we think that people who come in here, they want to see black ownership, but are there any black breweries that are on your list? Yes, there are. So we want to provide that for the people who come in, and you'll be surprised. That's one of our top sellers. Both are top sellers, Harlem Blue and Harlem Brewing.
Besides beer, what other offerings do you have here at Harlem Hops?
Well, besides the beer, we also have wine on tap. We also have cider on tap. We have a lot of spirits that are from local distilleries. We have great food, and my partner Kim will be able to give you a little bit more in depth about the food.
I am the mastermind, quote unquote. That's what our titles are weird. Like, I'm the mastermind. Kevin's the beer curator and Stacy's the sugar mama. So basically, Stacy and our roles kind of like get intertwined because we kind of are capable of doing the same things, but Stacy's more marketing and finance, and I'm more like just general operations, and right now I'm managing our kitchen.
Tell us how this idea, this establishment even came about.
For me, initially it came about when I was working on a project for someone else, and they wanted to do a television show about beer. And because I was helping them with the marketing for the concept, I started drinking beer because I was like, I need to know a little bit more about what I'm researching. So I started drinking beer. And then as I was drinking more and more beer, I started enjoying it, and then I would have to travel out to like Brooklyn or Queens to get it. So that's when it kind of like came to me, like I've been wanting to do this beer or a restaurant. I always knew I wanted to settle in on a location in Harlem, but then the concept kind of came to me based off of necessity. We wanted to create a space that was cool, fun, felt warm and welcoming to everyone. And when it comes to beer, that's the general sense. that you get when you go to all these beer places. But the difference is that there are not a lot of people of color that are drinking beer or know anything about beer. So, and you know, like Kevin and I, we were very comfortable in these atmospheres, but we knew we wanted to create an atmosphere that was just had a different dynamic, that had a dynamic that was inclusive of everyone, and nobody felt excluded.
What's on the menu besides beer? What other offerings do you have here at Harlem House?
We have a simple bites menu. It comprises of sausages and empanadas. We have different styles, like we have vegetarian options, we have seafood options, we have meat and chicken options. And then we have this huge Bavarian pretzel that is really a lot of people. It's like one of our biggest sellers. We wanted to create like a simple menu that's, you know, crafted. It's all like local small businesses, just like us. And that's what we're bringing, you know, to the community and letting people patronize the small business owners as opposed to focusing on the larger brands and companies. We have this common thread of which we all went to HBCUs, including my partner's wife, Felicia, who went to Howard University. So in that, we knew that we could, that was a bonus, you know what I mean? Like when other people that were in the room was, you know, just looking at our story and realizing, you know, you have these people and it's like we're hardworking, come from, you know, hardworking middle class families to just get to this phase of which we're, you know, creating entrepreneurship within, you know, our families and trying to do something different and bringing it back to a community of which we, you know, that we all find as an African American community.
Today I'm here at the food bank in Harlem, doing inspired dishes from my cookbook called Between Harlem and Heaven. It's really important for me that the whole Harlem community understands this cookbook because they are here, they've been here a long time, and they truly need to see what this book is about. So I gave 50 copies to the pantry for everybody to be able to take home. Recipes from the book, so we have some spicy black beans, some sticky Brussels sprouts. She even took some of the braising liquid that was in the oxtails and did it with some turkey legs.
I was a producer, and maybe about 10 years ago, I was scoring. Dave Chappelle's show was on his way out, and I was scoring over at Metropolis Studios, and I bumped into a friend. Well, he wasn't a friend at the time. I just bumped into a guy at the bus stop. That's the guy over there behind the cameras, and I convinced him to sell me his bicycle. And when he sold me his bicycle, he came to my house and he appreciated some of the work that I did. And he called me later on and said, hey man, I know you don't do this for a living, but maybe you look at a job, at a contracting job. I said no, I turned him down. I said, nah, I'm a producer. And he just kept calling me, and eventually I went and saw the job. And I took the job, and I never ever went back to work as a producer. And I'm Albert Elkerson, contractor developer in the South Bronx. I was a handy guy, but I pretty much overdo everything. I'm one of those obsessive, compulsive guys. So I make sure everything is straight and lined up right. And it turns out that those are the things that made contractors worth more than other contractors. So I kind of did well in the last 10 years. I built this room with my hands.
This whole room?
The entire room, every piece of electric, every piece of everything, the stage.
Just self-taught.
More, yeah, it's just self-taught. No explanation for why I know how to do these things. I'm a bike enthusiast. I'm a contractor, so this room a year ago it had tools all over the room, and my trucks were here, and then I had maybe 40 of my motorcycles in here, and I think it was Alicia Keys. Hey Al, can we celebrate? I have a friend, which is her husband. He said, can we celebrate his birthday there? And I thought she was crazy. Again, I said, no. When you're supposed to celebrate this party in the French Riviera, I mean, his birthday, she was like, no, I want it in the South Bronx. He's from the South Bronx, and we never celebrated it. This vibe in here is, I thought she was crazy, but when Alicia feels something, you can't talk her out of it. So I did the party, and after that party, I did another party, and then before you know it, baseball players, basketball players, everybody began to solicit me. And so I had to take all my tools out and develop the room, and as time went by, it got better. And so Pier 132 was born. At the time, I didn't realize that I was a developer. I just thought I was a contractor who knew how to fix up a room, and I built bars for people. So it seemed elementary to me to just build a bar if they needed it, or a lounge or a club. When I looked at the success of Pier 132, I started looking at other parts of this warehouse, because I'm only using 2,500 square feet in this room, but I have 62,000 square feet. So I started thinking, well, let me build this, and let me build that. And then I started bringing in tenants, and all of a sudden, the Bronx Black House was born. That's the building that we're in. So in the Bronx Black House, there's Pier 132, there's Gun Hill Tavern, there's Port Morris Distilleries, we have a silk screening company upstairs, we have a photography studio here, we have a recording studio here, we have the Ciroc bar is being built in here right now, BX Sandwich, Jaw Lion Juice Bar, and so I got carried away again.
You're now a developer. Is that something you're going to be moving into?
I can't go back. It's almost like production. I can't do production anymore, and I can't be a contractor or a carpenter anymore. I have to. See, logic kicks in eventually, and what I looked at was the history of every other waterfront in the New York City tri-state area, you know, and just when I started looking at what happened on every single waterfront, I started wondering, why hasn't that happened on this waterfront? This is the very first block in the Bronx, and I just couldn't figure out why the gentrification hadn't spilled over into the South Bronx. And so when I looked up the street and saw that there was a legendary pier called the 132nd Street Pier, it burned down in that blackout that we had some years ago, but there's a pier that they're reconstructing. And so that's how Pier 132 became Pier 132. And so I started thinking, what could we do? I mean, if I could get Alicia Keys here, if I can get Carmelo Anthony here. One time I came in the theater in the back, and Oprah was sitting in the back watching Superfly. So I started thinking, if people will come here for this, what if I can get a whole eclectic crowd to appreciate this waterfront, just the way they did Dumbo, Tribeca, Chelsea, Long Island City, Williamsburg, I became obsessed almost with trying to figure this out. But I had to put my money where my mouth was in order to find out if I was right. And I started building.
That's all we have for now. I'm Selena Hill. See you uptown.
This program is made possible by Lolo's Seafood Shack.
Lolo's are open-air barbecue shacks that keep beachgoers in the Caribbean well-fed. Lolo's Seafood Shack brings the spirit of these West Indies seaside eateries to Harlem, serving up coastal eats ranging from Cape Cod comfort food to Caribbean street food. There are shareable snacks, such as fries topped with cotija cheese, herbs, and jalapeno, smoked achiote glazed chicken wings, and wok-seared cauliflower.
Lolo's is located on 116th Street between Frederick Douglass Boulevard and Manhattan Avenues. We'll see you at the Shack.
This program is made possible by
The Ralph Lauren Center for Cancer Care has grown to become a beacon for quality, dignity, and accessibility in cancer care. With specialists certified by the Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center and a team of experienced care navigators, the center is ensuring that more New Yorkers have access to the resources, tools, and quality treatment they need to not only survive cancer, but also thrive well beyond it. The Ralph Lauren Center for Cancer Care in Harlem, New York.
Electric red world sees us tonight. We're lightning bolts in the sky, flashing with thunder, and it's beautiful all over, yeah. Let me feel vibration.
What's Eating Harlem is the media partner of Harlem Park to Park.